Ivanka Trump never expected her words to leave that room, but Jasmine Crockett made sure they did, and turned them into something no one could ignore. It was supposed to be an elegant evening. Filet mignon, vintage wine, and political small talk at the Silverleaf Club in Scottsdale. An invitation-only fundraiser with just 48 hand-picked guests, party strategists, wealthy donors, and insiders who knew how to keep secrets. But one whisper became a reckoning. Ivanka arrived late, radiant, floating between tables in a tailored navy jumpsuit. This wasn't a campaign stop, officially, but everyone could sense it. She was testing the waters. Then, as the laughter swelled and glasses clinked, someone brought up Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Not by name at first, just the loud one from Texas, a few chuckles, a mention of MSNBC. Then Ivanka leaned back, swirled her wine, and said it. She's ghetto trash. That's all she is. The room quieted. The laughter didn't grow. It faded. One donor met the eyes of a former Hill staffer across the table. Neither said a word. But later that night, a text went out to a Capitol Hill reporter. A follow-up. Came with a voice note, secretly recorded. The audio wasn't pristine, but the phrase was there. By the next afternoon, it was public. Headlines exploded. Social media ignited. Within hours, the phrase ghetto trash was everywhere, side by side, with Ivanka's name. People demanded a response. From Jasmine, from Ivanka, from anyone. In her D.C. office, Jasmine Crockett read the headline in silence. Her chief of staff, Andre, watched her carefully. "So she thinks I'm trash," Jasmine finally said. Andre replied, "She thinks that room was safe, but someone wanted you to know." She didn't scream, didn't rage. She opened her laptop and said, "Book me live, tonight, MSNBC. No script, no spin, no yelling, just clarity." As a summer storm rolled outside, Jasmine composed herself like a prosecutor preparing for court. And when the moment came, she didn't flinch. She looked straight into the camera and said, "Ghetto trash." That phrase doesn't belong to Ivanka Trump. But she knew how to use it, and she used it on purpose. In 4 minutes flat, she dismantled the history behind the slur. The coded language, the quiet racism wrapped in casual elitism. When you say ghetto trash, what you mean is you don't belong here. But the door's already open, and we're not leaving. It was calm. It was surgical. And it landed like a thunderclap. Before she left the studio, the clip was online, subtitled, shared, trending. Over 400,000 views in 20 minutes, and climbing. In South Dallas, a teacher played it for her class. In Oakland, it aired on loop in a barbershop. In Grand Rapids, an elderly church member texted it to her Bible study group. Across the country, people saw themselves in Jasmine. She wasn't yelling, she wasn't crying, she was standing. Tall, the trolls followed. The racist DMs, the memes, the usual. She deleted them without a second thought, but one message from Florida stood out. "I used to vote red, but I heard you. And you made me listen. Even Republicans noticed." One anonymous Hill staffer sent her a burner email. "You're not overreacting. We've heard worse. Stay loud." Andre kept sorting the interviews. CBS, BBC, NPR. Jasmine refused. "The clip speaks," she said. "Let it breathe." By Friday, it was more than a viral moment. It was a movement. TikTok creators dubbed her voice over graduation videos, courtroom wins, street cleanups. One woman in Gary, Indiana said, "They called us ghetto too, but look at my son. He's going to college." A mural popped up in LA. T-shirts printed overnight. Campaign donations tripled. Jasmine wasn't just trending, she was rising. Ivanka? Silent. She posted beach photos, glossy smiles, no apology, no statement, no denial. But the comments roared, "Apologize to Jasmine. Ghetto trash? That what you think of us?" By Monday, silence was no longer strategy. It was surrender. At a GOP brunch in Charleston, a major donor muttered, "She should have just said something." In private, Ivanka's advisors panicked. Some wanted a denial. Some wanted a fake audio claim. Some begged her to just apologize. She refused. Then came the dam break. A Trump-affiliated PAC released a vague statement. "We don't believe divisive rhetoric represents our movement." No name, no context, no mention of Jasmine Crockett. It backfired. By midweek, conservative columnists turned. One wrote, "Ivanka's silence isn't grace, it's cowardice." Donors started pulling out. $500,000 gone from an upcoming gala. A tech billionaire backed out of a $200,000 appearance fee. "I don't want this trash fire near my brand," he said. Meanwhile, Jasmine stayed focused. No new press, no tweets. Just work, briefings, hearings, constituent calls. Outside her office, protesters gathered with signs. "We are not trash." At a coffee shop, an older man approached her, held up his phone with the clip paused. "I watched this 3 times. I thought about my daughter. You made me proud." Back inside, Andre kept filtering emails. Jasmine said, "Forget the big names. Show me the single moms, the teachers, the ones who never write, except today." A letter arrived from a GOP fundraiser. "I was in that room. I heard her say it. I'm sorry I didn't speak up. You change more minds than you know." Jasmine folded it. No smile, no tears. Just a quiet, "It's turning." By Friday, it was more than a conversation. It was numbers. A retired judge sent $12,000. That's leadership presidential. In Toledo, a mother thanked her in person. "My daughter saw you. Now she walks taller." Back in D.C., Ivanka's team was unraveling. Donors wanted answers. She gave none. Her control was slipping. Then came the final crack, a handwritten note. From Linda Wang, tech billionaire. A check for $250,000 to fund Jasmine's voter outreach. You didn't yell. You didn't drag. You showed strength. That's where change lives. Jasmine read it out loud. Her staff clapped. She didn't. "Too early," she said. "We've got more work to do." Andre looked at her. "This thing's bigger than you now." She nodded. Quiet. Focused. Ready. Because Jasmine Crockett wasn't just answering a slur. She was building a platform, one voice at a time. She knew at the moment she stepped outside her office and saw the texts, the mentions, the donations, teens tagging her in TikToks, elderly women calling in just to say thank you. It all pointed to one truth. She had become a symbol for something far bigger than herself. And while the money rolled in, so did the criticism. Right-wing pundits flooded airwaves calling her dramatic. Think tanks churned out op-eds framing her response as a political performance. She didn't answer them. She didn't need to. The public was answering for her. A viral Twitter thread by a political science professor in Cincinnati put it best. Rebecca Crockett didn't just respond. She translated. She took a slur, dissected it, and handed America a mirror. The outrage over her clapback, not the slur itself, that was the real headline. Within GOP circles, panic set in. A Republican strategist admitted off-record to Reuters, "We've lost control of the narrative. She's steering the ship now." Even Ivanka's team started splintering. Her longtime media advisor resigned, citing creative friction. Others stayed, but quietly explored exits. Meanwhile, Jasmine's approval surged. A Des Moines Register poll showed her favorability, with independent voters had jumped to 42% after her MSNBC appearance. Among women under 40, 61%. She wasn't just winning the news cycle, she was shifting it. She didn't celebrate, not publicly. That night, she stayed late in the office, personally calling back donors who gave $5 and left handwritten notes. But as her public image rose, her opposition mutated. This next threat didn't wear a face. It crept in shadows and whispered, with sharpened tongues. At a low-profile town hall in Tallahassee, no cameras, no fanfare, Jasmine stepped up to a handwritten podium sign reading, "Voices That Matter." She didn't mention Ivanka. That wasn't the point anymore. She was there. To root the attention in action, "I've been called a lot of things," she began. "Outspoken, loud, aggressive, ghetto, trash." The crowd murmured. She continued. "Labels don't define us. They reveal what makes others uncomfortable with who we are." Applause bubbled and faded, then grew again when she said, "They want me silent." But silence is how they keep writing the story without us in it. And then, "They say I should be grateful to be at the table, but they forget we built the damn table." The room erupted. People stood, cheered, whispered, cried. She ended softly. "If honesty means being called trash, then I'll keep taking out the garbage." A shaky phone video taken by a college student went viral. 6.4 million views in half a day. A major podcaster called it the best political speech in 5 years. Comparisons to Barbara Jordan, Michelle Obama. But it wasn't about comparisons. It was something new, uncontrollable, and her enemies knew it. Then came the hit jobs. Conservative. Blogs ran recycled claims about Jasmine's old financial history, a missed utility bill, a settled landlord dispute. It didn't stick. Fox News ran a segment teasing a bombshell clip, Jasmine calling America anti-black. The clip? Her saying, "This country was never built to include us. We had to claw our way in." It backfired. People reposted it with pride. "Where's the lie?" Then they dragged her mother. A headline read, "Jasmine Crockett's mother arrested in civil rights protest. Is this the legacy?" Jasmine's answer, "I'm proud of her. She sat at a whites-only counter. That's legacy." More smears came. A fake scandal about misused campaign funds, debunked in 36 hours. She didn't comment. The public was already dismissing the noise. They'd seen the playbook before. Ilhan Omar, Maxine Waters, Shirley Chisholm. We know the playbook started trending. This was no longer damage control, it was evolution. Jasmine's team doubled down on outreach. Voter drives, civic mentorship for black girls, teachers asking to use her MSNBC clip in class. Her inbox flooded. The political weather shifted. Even donors once loyal to Ivanka quietly reached out. A Baton Rouge meeting sealed it. A white VC in his 50s leaned in. "I used to think people like you were dangerous." "And now?" Jasmine asked. "Now I think people like you are necessary." "We've always been necessary," she said. "You're just late." That night she got an email. Subject line, "I was there. It was worse than reported." From a former Trump logistics staffer named Lauren. She wanted to talk, off record, in private. They met in a Jackson law office. No press, no leaks. "She didn't just call you ghetto trash," Lauren said. "She said let her bark on cable news. That's all she's good for." I wrote it down. "I can prove it." Jasmine asked, "Why now?" Lauren answered, "Because I finally realized who I was helping and who I was hurting." They didn't leak the info. They used it strategically. Through back channels, donors still backing Ivanka got a quiet message. "We know the full quote. Are you sure you want to stay on her side?" 3 donors flipped. 1 sent a 6-figure check. Ivanka canceled 2 appearances. Scheduling conflicts, they said. Jasmine kept moving, school board meetings, women's circles, small business roundtables, no cameras, just people. Her media framing changed, from fiery to formidable, from outspoken to influential. In Des Moines, a woman stood up during an open mic. "You reminded us how dignity speaks." Jasmine replied, "Sometimes the loudest clapback is calm." Then came the Senate hearing, rhetoric and responsibility in political leadership. She didn't ask to be there, but public pressure demanded it. She walked in alone. No entourage, a single folder in hand. "I'm not here because someone said something ugly," she began. I'm here because of what that ugliness represents. It reminds people like me that no matter how high we climb, we're still seen as disposable." She paused. "I don't need an apology. I need this body to stop pretending the damage only happens on camera. It happens behind oak doors and velvet curtains." A senator asked, "Are you suggesting the system is biased?" "I'm not suggesting it," she said. "I'm living proof." The hearing ended. Reporters swarmed. "Should Ivanka apologize?" one asked. "She can or she can't," Jasmine replied. "Either way, I'm good." "What do you say to critics who accuse you of using this for political gain?" "If the truth gains something," she said, "maybe that truth was overdue." Back at her office, Andre walked in holding a box. "Fan mail," he said. "Mostly kids." Jasmine opened it. Drawings, notes, a friendship bracelet from Savannah. She slipped it on her wrist. "Worn, bright, quietly powerful. This," she said, "is bigger than headlines." Andre nodded. "This is legacy." Jasmine looked out the window. The Capitol dome stood tall, cold, still. But this time she didn't feel like she was outside power. She felt like she was power. She turned back, soft smile on her face. "Let's keep going." Because the words meant to break her had built something instead. A movement, rooted in dignity, shaped by truth, powered by voices that refuse to be silenced. If this story moved you, share it, subscribe, show up. The fight isn't over, and every voice matters.